Now, you will remember last week we started a conversation with a man called Dave Eggleton from Extreme Clean Pools, and then I don't know what he did on here. I don't know, what did you do, Dave? Like the lights went out. What did you do?
No, you know, Richard, I actually needed to have a beer. I was so nervous, so I just switched all the electric off.
And everything, you killed the whole of the village, the whole neighborhood, everything. You turned the lights out on everything. And there we were on separate ends of the world going, hello, hello, can you hear me? Hello, hello.
Yeah.
Anyway.
But you know, it's good to keep people in suspense and have an episode 2. You know, it's always good like that.
Take 2. So we're going to do this all over again. We just got started. You were just getting into your stride. You were just starting to hook up there. And then all of a sudden, boom,
it
up
just
went
went.
the lights. All right, for those who don't know, folk, Dave owns a company called Extreme Clean Pools, and he's also a proud member of the False Bay Business Network. And if you want to find out more about them, you can go to their website, which is www.fbn.co.za, and you will also find all the information about Extreme Clean and more about Dave and Leanne. So we started off last week talking about a swimming pool being a summer usage item, but an all year round maintenance item. And this is kind of where you were taking us in that conversation. So maybe we can pick up there after you've given a little bit more background into, you know, how you started the business and how you get to this point.
Great. No worries. Right, here I go. I'll give you a brief history of how it all started. Probably going to give my age away, but it all started, I would say, back in 1978. Where I left school and walked straight into a swimming pool maintenance company. Through the years, worked with swimming pools, doing all sorts of different maintenance, from construction to maintenance, and then going on to the manufacturing side of swimming pool equipment. That's where I met my wife, Leanne. We started working together back in 1981.
Amongst other things that you do together.
That's besides the other things we did. Yeah, okay, that we'll keep for another program. Yeah, okay. So then we started working together, and we worked for a number of years, and eventually we started our own small little swimming pool shop. We were one of the first to start a shop, an actual swimming pool shop in Johannesburg, and we had that for a good number of years. Back in Lone Hill.
I know Lone Hill.
Yeah. And in fact, we used to do a lot of, you'd probably know a lot of the people that we used to do pools for back then, being Kevin Savage, Tony Blewett, Amanda Farrow, Darren Scott. They all used to live in a suburb called Fourways Gardens, and we used to do all their swimming pools. We used to do a swimming pool for one of the top directors of the Southern Sun. He sent us to the Seychelles to do a swimming pool job in the Seychelles. He sent Leanne and myself, because Leanne did an actual study on water, and she's a fundi on swimming pool water.
Okay.
She can get swimming pool water from green to blue in practically a couple of hours. So yeah, so it's swimming pools has been in our life for all our working life. We did travel overseas for a couple of years. And we were doing a couple of pools overseas, but came back to Fishhook and started back in 2014. We started Extreme Clean Pools, and we haven't looked back. We do everything ourselves. We have got another team on the road, being our son and a chap by the name of Justin. So it's Garrick and Justin, and Leanne and myself. And we have a lot of work, and keeps us busy, keeps us out of mischief. And, you know, it's stuff we enjoy. It's what we enjoy doing. We have a philosophy in life, you know, if you don't enjoy it, then don't do it. You know, so we enjoy what we do, and we try and do the best of what we're good at. So there you have it. That's a brief history.
Well, there we go. Well, look, I mean, people are speaking about that. If I just look at the website here, we've got the most friendly and professional service providers in Cape Town. I know absolutely nothing about pools, our pool maintenance. Everything was dealt with in the best possible way, and I would recommend them to anybody, and that was Lee, and that's on the website. So there's a recommendation there already, and there are a couple of others there as well. All right. Interesting. What brought you to Cape Town, Dave?
You know, Richard, back in Johannesburg, we had our swimming pool shop, which grew to such an extent. We had about 5 different teams on the road. We were doing a number of different aspects of swimming pool in the swimming pool industry. And we decided to, I would say, downsize a little bit. It was just getting a bit too much for the two of us. Mm-hmm. It needed somebody to grow it and to expand with it. And I felt we needed a complete change. At that stage, our kids had grown up and left home, and they'd moved overseas. So it was just the two of us. And so we came down to Cape Town. And and we've never looked back. That was back in 2000. We came down to Cape Town. We lived in Hout Bay. Mm-hmm. We did pool work in Hout Bay, what have you. So we still got customers that we service in Hout Bay now. So it's since 2000 we've been down here. We have been through 1 or 2 different, I wouldn't say companies, but we've been involved with 1 or 2 companies. But in 2014, we started Xtreme Clean Pools, and we've never looked back. We've got a great customer base, mm-hmm. We service the whole of the valley. We go as far as, well, when I say go as far, we do go to Hout Bay because we still service customers in Hout Bay. A lot of people, from us being from Johannesburg, traveling doesn't mean much to us. We can travel anywhere. A lot of people don't like to go over the mountain to do work. It's far, they say. But, we do. We go over the mountain to do, we will do a number of pools over the mountain. So we're not only valley-based, although 99% of our work is in the valley. We spend on a Wednesday, we spend in Hout Bay and Constantia, Tokai. We do pools over there because we have long-standing customers which we service. We cannot let them down. We've just done a huge pool in Tokai. We've just acid washed it. And it's something that what can I say? Going over the mountain means nothing to us. You know what I mean? If we have to do it, we have to do it. Traveling is it's all part of the job.
It is indeed. Now tell me, a swimming pool it's one of those kind of nice to haves, but if you don't keep your hand on it, it becomes a real thorn in the side. I found that I've had pools in fact, the home I'm living in right now, Mariesburg, is probably the only one that I can think of in recent times that hasn't had a pool. But it's a nice to have, and it's great when the pool is sparkly and the sun is shining and it's summer and everything like that. It's wonderful. You sit around there, sunset drinks, bright around the pool, lovely stuff. Yeah. But when that pool starts to get out of hand, it can become a real pain in the butt. The solution would be for someone like myself who's not I'm pretty much like Lee here. I know nothing about pools, and to have a relationship with a company like yours. Now that relationship does it take the form of an ongoing contract? Is it a one-off? Do you come in and troubleshoot and then go away and then come back if I need you again? How do you structure the business in terms of the servicing that you do?
Okay, all right, okay, Richard, right. What we have, we have a load of maintenance pools where we do them either on a bi-weekly basis or we do them on a weekly basis, and the odd pool where we do once a month. Okay, we have a load of those. Where we maintain the pool. We do everything there is to be done to that pool, and if anything goes wrong in the interim period, it's in our interest to keep that pool clean. So if anything goes wrong, if we're there today and something happens tomorrow, we expect or we ask the people to get hold of us so we can go back. We don't wait another week or 10 days, whatever it is, because as I said, it's in our interest to keep that pool clean. So yes, we have a number of, we don't make anybody sign. There's no signed contract. It's basically from month to month. Yeah. A lot of people are buying and selling houses and what have you. So, it's a month to month contract. There's no signage involved. Then we do have we sort out other pool problems as well. We do other aspects of it, not only maintenance. We do pool pumps, pool filters, salt chlorination, sand changes. You got to remember with maintaining a pool, it's not just a matter of going around there and just checking the pH and the chlorine, throwing in what's necessary. You know, there are other things involved. Over the years, the pool technology has changed, and it's advanced. Okay, so we have to keep up with the technology of the swimming pool industry as well. A lot of things that have been brought out of the newer technology has worked. A lot of it hasn't worked, and a lot of it's been successful. But we are pretty much old school. I like to only use something that's been tried and tested. And when I say tested, tested for a good while before we will do an installation of whatever the case may be, whether it be a pump, a salt chlorinator, or whatever. If I can just mention, salt chlorination is very popular now. And there's a lot of people bringing out different units of salt chlorination. And you know, at this particular time, I'm not going to mention any brand names or whatever, but we only use one salt chlorination. It's user-friendly, which I feel a swimming pool has got to be hassle-free, whether it's for us to do or whether it's for the client. You want a swimming pool to be as user-friendly as possible and as easy as possible to maintain. You don't want a swimming pool that's going to give you a sleepless nights. You've got to remember as well, on the other, is that nowadays the swimming pool is an integral part of the house. Not like many years ago, swimming pools used to be at the bottom of the garden and you didn't see them from one summer to the next. Okay. So, you know, I was at a pool today and the lady was telling us she hasn't been down to her swim. It's a big house with a big pool right at the bottom of the garden. She hasn't seen the pool since last summer. We went down to the pool. Yeah. And we went down there and it is like thick pea green soup.
Yeah.
You know, that is it's one of the older houses, but the majority of houses now, swimming pools are part of the house.
So they have to be
maintained. They have, you know, we in the Cape area, we have our winter storms, and you take the storms that we've had recently, where a lot of stuff has been blown around. And I'm not only talking about leaves, and I'm talking about furniture as well, which has been blown into swimming pools. You know, you get that northwest wind, and you know, all sorts of different things can land up in the pool. So pool maintenance is not just a summer program. Pool maintenance is a year-round maintenance. Swimming pool is a luxury, and a luxury, as you would know, has to be looked after, as in an expensive car. If you don't look after your car, get your car serviced regularly, then you know you're going to end up with problems, and problems can be costly. So you need the pool to be maintained regularly, either by yourself as a homeowner or by a pool professional.
Yeah, look, I'm all in favor of the pool professional, simply because when it comes to things with swimming pool, I am certainly in a league where I don't understand anything. I understand that the pump goes on, the pump goes off, and the creepy goes round and round. Other than that, I'm not too bright about it. And having somebody look after it is a good thing. But then you get a guy like me who thinks, you know what, I can do it. It can't be rocket science. And we've heard from you that there is a lot more to it. In fact, it sort of leans more towards rocket science, or science, certainly when it comes to water and maintaining water and that type of thing, than one would really think about when thinking about the swimming pool water.
Yeah, you've hit the nail on the head there, Richard, really. You know, regards swimming pools itself, you've got to think of a swimming pool as a body, as a living body, okay? So any living body has got to be treated, and a pool water has got to be treated. It's got to be treated chemically. It's got to be treated through the filter. There's so many different aspects of the swimming pool industry. You know, when you go into the pool industry, and if you look at it, it's not only just the pool water chemistry. There's so many different things involved as well. There's leak detection, there's filtration, there's the electric motor, There's you have to have a bit of knowledge on the building side as well, because you've got to know where, where the pipes are and what to do if they start leaking. You've got to know a bit about plumbing. So, a lot. I'm not just saying this, Richard. I would say, between 50 to 75% of swimming pool owners are left to the housewives to look after. The husbands are busy people. They don't want to. They had work during the week. They don't want to come home and spend their weekends maintaining their pools and what have you. So a lot of the pool maintenance is left to the ladies, which is great. They can do it, but they do get stuck. And and sometimes we can get where the husband will get involved, and great if he can do it, perfect. But there's unfortunately sometimes when a husband or when somebody, the next door neighbor or whatever, gets involved, it can create more of a problem than it initially was. So, my advice is if anything happens to a pool, whether it be your pool water, whether it be your pool pump, your filter or whatever, ask around, and if nobody can give you a firm answer, then get the professionals in to have a look at it. I'll just give you one aspect. Years ago, they used to put pressure gauges on swimming pool filters. And you used to have a pressure gauge, and you could check how your filter was running at a certain pressure. Let's say your pool was running at a pressure of 50 kPa, and your neighbor's was running at a pressure of 75 kPa. One of you thought something was wrong. Okay.
Yeah.
Meantime, it's completely. It's normal, one pool can be completely different to the other pool. So, it doesn't have to be wrong if your pool is not running as the same as your neighbor's pool. But so they stopped putting pressure gauges on swimming pools, on swimming pool filters. They stopped that. Sometimes a pressure gauge can give you an incorrect reading as well. So it wasn't always a good idea to go according to the pressure gauge. But yeah, there's a lot of maintenance involved. It's as long as you know what you're doing, then you could do it yourself. You get stuck, then have a look. If you can't do it, then give us a call, give somebody a call who knows what they're doing.
No, we want people to give you a call. That's what we want people to do. We want people to give you a call. And
no, I appreciate that. No, I really do, and I appreciate the opportunity to come on air. It's. I would love people to give us a call, and hopefully we would be able to help everybody. What we did, if I can just butt in very briefly, was many years ago back in Johannesburg on Radio Highveld. Just before a summer season, Leanne and myself used to work for a pool equipment manufacturing company, and we had, on Radio Highveld, they had a question and answer session. So just before the summer season, a lot of people, we used to go through once a week, and we used to do a lot of answering. Leanne would answer questions on water. We would try and help people out as much as we can.
Well, I don't think that's a bad idea for Zone Radio, but we'll talk about that and at another time. But I think it'd be a great idea. Talking about calling them, you can call Dave. His number is 079-973-2995. And you can call Leanne on 071-287-1406. Just listening to you speak, Dave, and before we go, we're running out of time, but before I go, I must ask you about hygiene and water. But what you're really offering in your service, in your business, outside of I need a chlorinator, or my pump is giving trouble, I need the filter sand change. What you're offering in your service is a consistency, because the swimming pool, if you've got it going through too many hands, in other words, too many people trying to do the same thing, then things become inconsistent. So dealing with you, going to Xtreme Clean Pool, saying, listen, I'd like you to come in once a week, once every 2 weeks, once a month, whatever the case may be, is, and maintain the pool, gives that swimming pool a degree of consistency, and gives the owner of the swimming pool the peace of mind that they can go out there, relax, and enjoy their pool without any hassle. And that's really what you're selling, isn't it?
You're 100% correct. At the moment, you can walk into, your local supermarket, your local pool shop and what have you, and you can get totally confused with the amount of swimming pool chemicals that are available. And you can walk out of the shop, 700 later, with a bag full of pool chemicals that maybe. Are you there, Richard? Sorry, yeah. Are you there?
Yes,
are you there?
I'm here. Yes,
okay.
I'm here.
You can walk out, with a bag full of chemicals that may not be needed. So there has to be, some sort of consistency with swimming pool water. And especially during this rainy season now, the rain can change a lot of the chemistry in a swimming pool. Okay. A lot of people say, it's my pool goes green from a bit of rain, and then the next day my pool's green. And there's a number of factors that can cause that. I'm not going to go into all the factors now, but there has to be, yes, you're correct, there has to be some sort of consistency, and the maintenance of that consistency of the chemicals in that water is a major factor. You cannot fall short on certain chemicals in a pool and certain balances of a chemical in a swimming pool.
And that leads to the hygiene factor, because it's all good and well, you can go and jump in the dam and swim in the river or something like that and deal with whatever's in the water. But that's a kind of one-off. It's not a regular thing. When you're using your swimming pool regularly, you want to make sure that that water is as sanitary as possible. And if it's not, is there a risk of picking up illnesses from the swimming pool water not being properly treated?
Okay, all right. From a health point of view, your chemical balance has to be correct. If your chemical balance is not correct, you can land up with a skin irritation. I'm not going to say you're going to land up in hospital and what have you. Your eyes may go red for a day or two or whatever. And it can be unpleasant. That a lot of people, you tend to swallow a lot of swimming pool water, kids especially. Yes. Swallow a lot of swimming pool water when they're swimming. And, if it's too acidic, it's not nice to taste. It may give you an upset stomach. There's a number of factors that can cause this. And from a health point of view, it's as long as there is that consistency, you shouldn't have any of these systems. These systems symptoms that can cause this sort of thing. So, yes, it's not dangerous. Swimming pool water can't be dangerous. But if you took this pool, I'm going to just use the one today, for example, that hadn't been maintained since last summer. From a health point of view, I wouldn't even get in it. You know what I mean? It has to be, but now it's going to be costly. You cannot leave a pool from one summer to the next, because it's going to be costly to get it back to the point of where it's going to be healthy to swim in again. So if it's maintained properly, then from a health point of view, and from a cost point of view, it's going to be far easier, and it's going to look better, and it's going to be pleasant to use. At the moment, these people, it's going to be a costly affair to get it right again. So yes, from a health point of view, as long as that maintenance is correct, you shouldn't get any of the symptoms that of itchy skin, red eyes, and not pleasant to taste, that sort of stuff.
Okay, now your business name says Xtreme Clean Pools. You don't do structural maintenance or anything like that. You're not involved in that in any way.
No, we have done in the past. Okay, this was what we were doing in Johannesburg, where we actually built a couple of pools, and I feel that our professional expertise is more in the maintenance. Okay. There's a lot of pool builders. We would recommend somebody, if somebody wants a pool built, we would recommend somebody. But we do not do any structural work on a swimming pool at all.
So just clearing that up so that you don't get a call tomorrow. Oh, listen, there seems to be a crack in my rear or whatever the case may be, and can you come and fix it? That's not your game. Your game is to make sure that people can use their pool.
Okay. No, if a pool is leaking and a pool is cracked and what have you, then yes, we can sort that out. But I'm talking about from a building point of view. From building scratch, I don't build pools from scratch. I won't take that on. We don't do paving around the pool. You know, there's plenty paving people, companies out there. Our integral part of swimming pool is the actual pool itself. If the pool itself is leaking, if we can't repair it, then we will recommend somebody who possibly can, okay, who has got more in the field of the structural division than we have.
Okay, so but a leak and that type of stuff, you can do that. I just wanted to make sure
no
you
problem
understand
at all.
the scope. All right.
Leak detection, that sort of stuff, no problem.
All right. Well, it sounds like a fascinating business, and it sounds like no 2 days are the same, really.
Richard, I tell you what, you know, every day it's different, and every day to us, you know, it's exciting. When I say it's exciting, you know, there's nothing better than going out to do a couple of pools out of Misty Cliffs and Scarborough. You drive out there, and you know, and we're just so lucky to live in this part of the world. You know, we have done a fair amount of traveling in the past, and you know, going out to Komaki, Misty Cliffs, Scarborough, Hart Bay to do work, and you know, we went to Hart Bay this morning, and we went over Chapman's Peak, and you know, how lucky are we, you know, to live in this part of the world and be able to work in this part of the world. Really,
well,
we love and enjoy it.
I'll tell you what, your passion certainly shines through, and I want to thank you for coming on this afternoon to speak to folk. I think that the sort of pool question and answer session is something that we can explore down the line, Dave. I'd be very keen to do that.
Yeah, no problem.
But again, folks, let me give you the numbers for Dave, and it's Dave Eggleton, E-G-G-L-T, I beg your pardon, E-G-G-L-E-T-O-N, and Leanne is L-E-I-A-N, spelled that way. And his number is 079-973-2995. Leanne is 071-287-1406, and you can get hold of them on those numbers. They have a Facebook page as well. And if you miss any of this, you can go to the fbn.co.za network. They are part of the False Bank Business Network. And failing anything else, you can WhatsApp us 072-447-8044, and I'll pass the information on to you. Dave, to you and Lee, all strength going forward. And we look forward to chatting again in the future. And thanks for your time this afternoon.
Richard, thank you very, very much for the opportunity. And thanks to the listeners that are listening. And yeah, good luck for the future.
Thank you, for you too. And I couldn't resist it. I'm going to play out with a song for you by Dire Straits. I have to play this. So there's no way I could not play Twisting by the Pool. I have to play that. It's obligatory. Dave, Dave, take care of yourself, and thanks for chatting with us. In regards to Leanne, I know she's in the background there, but yeah.
Yeah, she's there.
Okay, yeah. Listen, by the way, this thing about giving your age away, you didn't have to tell that story. We can see. We've got eyes. We can see that.
As I said, like it's on radio. Yeah.
Take it, Dave. Regards to
Richard, thanks a million, mate.
You're welcome, cheerio. Bye.